It's 11:14 on a Sunday night. You're in bed, doing the numbers again. Not because you messed up. You did everything right. You paid the mortgage, stayed on budget, kept the old car, and somehow you still feel trapped. That's because the mortgage was never just a bill. It was a leash. The biggest lie in personal finance is that paying a mortgage makes you secure. It doesn't. It makes you predictable. To the bank, your neighbor has the same size house, same rough income, but last Tuesday, he didn't go to work. Not because he won the lottery. Not because he got a giant raise. He just stopped feeding the machine. And that is the part nobody wants to admit. He is not richer than you. He just cut the payment that was controlling his choices. I'm an actuary. I study what money really does to real people. So today, we are not talking about dream homes. We are talking about what your mortgage is stealing from you. Not just money. Options. Energy. Time. Peace. The bank is not just collecting interest. It is collecting the years you could have lived differently. Let's talk numbers. For a huge number of households, housing now eats more than 40% of take-home income. That is before groceries, before gas, before kids, before one annoying emergency wrecks the month. That is not healthy. That is a pressure system. Take a family like the Garcias. Dual income, about $110,000 a year. After taxes and payroll deductions, they bring home around $6,800 a month. Sounds decent, right? Now, watch it disappear. Mortgage, property tax, insurance, maintenance, reserve. Just housing costs them about $3,300 a month. Almost half their take-home pay is gone before life even starts. Then come 2 cars, gas, student loans, health, insurance, groceries, utilities. By the time all of that clears, there is barely anything left. And remember, this is the good version of the month. No air visit. No vet bill. No broken AC. No surprise school expense. This is what people call being responsible. But let's say it clearly. This is not freedom. This is managed exhaustion. The mortgage is not just debt. It is a monthly toll for access to your own routine. A lot of people are not scared to quit their job. They are scared of the payment waiting at home. Now, here is the important part. When the mortgage ends, you do not magically unlock the full payment as investing money. A house still costs money. Taxes stay. Insurance stays. Repairs definitely stay. But a major chunk of that old payment finally stops going to the bank. For many households, that means roughly $2,000 a month becomes real deployable cash. And that is where the story changes. Because $2,000 a month, left alone and invested for years, becomes serious money. That is how ordinary people slowly become financially strong. Not through one lucky break. Not through some genius trade. By removing the giant fixed cost that was blocking everything else. And this is where the mortgage myth falls apart. The bank sells you the house, but it never tells you what the payment is preventing. It is not just costing you interest. It is delaying the years when your money could finally start compounding for you. Now, yes, people love to jump in and say, what if my rate is low? Shouldn't I invest the extra money instead? Sometimes, yes. The spreadsheet can make that argument, but spreadsheets assume you are a machine. They assume every extra dollar gets invested every month for years without fail. Most people Do not do that. Most people absorb the extra cash into life. A better vacation, a nicer car, more delivery, a dozen small upgrades that quietly eat the whole advantage. That is why this debate is not just math. It is behavior. The best plan on paper usually loses to the plan you will actually follow. Personal finance is full of smart plans built for people who do not exist. And debt does more than drain your wallet. It changes your brain. It increases stress, shrinks your margin for error, makes every decision feel heavier. The mortgage is usually the biggest open tab in a person's life. It sits there for decades, humming in the background, shaping every choice. Can I leave this job? Can I take a pay cut? Can I start over? Can I survive one bad month? That is the hidden cost. Once the mortgage is gone, your life does not suddenly become luxurious. It becomes lighter. And lighter changes everything. When the cost of survival drops, freedom rises. Suddenly, one spouse can leave a toxic job. You can take work that matters more. You can survive a rough patch without the house becoming a threat. That is why paying off a mortgage can completely change the math of financial independence. You did not become richer overnight. And that is one of the most powerful shifts in money. But let's not romanticize it. A paid-off house is not free. Property taxes still show up. Insurance keeps climbing. Repairs do not disappear. The roof still ages. The water heater still dies at the worst possible time. So no, you are not escaping all housing costs. You are escaping the biggest one. The bank's claim on your paycheck, and that difference is huge, because more and more people are dragging mortgage debt into retirement. That should terrify anyone who thinks this is normal. It is common now, but common is not the same as safe. So, what do? You stop treating the